God is rolling away every reproach and shame that has defined and characterized your life. God is rolling away that condition of shame and disgrace, that condition that has been a limitation to your happiness. He is rolling away that condition that has made you always worry and end in tears. He is taking away fruitlessness. He is taking away wretchedness. He is taking away that sickness and infirmity. He is taking away the embargo. Rejoice, for God is finally crowning you with honor and all-round blessing. Look, fruitlessness is not a blessing. That embargo is not something you can be proud of. It does not honor God. All those who have problems, always in a sorrowful state, because no amount of words of consolation can make the problems go away. The only thing that can take that problem away is the love of God that restores peace. Those whose conditions are shameful, it is the love of God that can remove the shame from their lives. Your present state might not be your making. It could be as a result of a former lifestyle. It might be some natural processes or the making from one's past generation or the enemy. Whatever the origin, one certain truth is that the Lord can take away any kind of reproach, dishonoring state, fruitlessness, shame in your life and family. These might be in your marriage, education, ministry, Christian life, business, profession, vocation, health, or economy. Refuse to welcome them in your life. Reject them in prayer and work hard in faithfulness to God to push them out of your territory. Refuse to be comfortable in your situation. It is time to make demands from God to remember you and take away the reproach, embargo, and shame. Hear what the Lord told the people of Israel through his servant Joshua in Joshua 5 verse 9. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "This day I have rolled away the reproach, derision, ridicule of Egypt from you. So the name of that place is called Gilgal till this day. The Lord would do the same for you if you call on him. He is willing and ready to roll away the ridicule, the shame, the agony, the disgrace from your life. All you have to do is to come to him with a sincere and clear heart. Then make your demands known to him. He told us clearly through his word that whatever he hears us say, he would do for us. If you are comfortable with your situation, there is no problem. But if you need a turnaround, a change of name and identity, then you need to state your demands clearly, and whatever you ask, he would do for you. The man called Jabez was someone whose negative and bad background soiled his identity. His mother bore him in pain and shame, and that was what brought about the name Jabez. He was always ridiculed. He was mocked, and his life had nothing good or tangible to show. He did not die like that. He did not conclude and decide to remain what has been attached to his identity. He rose one day and decided to cry to God that his name and identity be changed. He made demands from God that he should bless him and enlarge his coast. And God, who responds to our prayers and demands with a right heart, heard him and blessed him and also enlarged his coast. Are you comfortable with your identity? Are you satisfied with your status quo? It is time to call on God to bless you and enlarge your coast like Jabez did. It is time to shift level It is time to level your rich state into wealth and abundance. All that is on earth belongs to Him, and if you make demands and have a right heart, He would not cast you out. He would give you custody of some of the resources on earth. Walk away from your reproach today. Call on Him, for He would take away the reproach and crown you with honor and blessings. Hannah was another woman who was ridiculed and mocked. She had no children, while her co-wife had many children. She was always taunted and mocked by others, and the state of things and affairs continued until one day when she decided to meet God head on and have the issues addressed. She did not ask for a child for herself, but a child that would serve God as a priest of the people of Israel. She needed to change how things were. She no longer needed a child to just end the mockery. She needed someone that would be dedicated to God. Sometimes the reproach would not go unless you hold God by His word and make kingdom sacrifice. Certainly, she knew more children would come after giving God the first. That came through, and that was what she did. God heard her and blessed her with a child who she named Samuel, and she took him back to the temple. He became a priest and prophet. He was the one that anointed the first two kings of Israel, Saul and David. Hannah was also blessed with more sons, and her story would always be remembered. What are you willing to lay down on the altar of sacrifice for you to see a change? God would not take away the reproach and crown you with honor and blessing if your intention is bad, to use to mock others or for just personal gains. He would roll away the reproach if you would use it to bless others also. It would make you great if you would also serve others. He would bless you exceedingly great if you would be a channel of blessing to others. Come to the altar of sacrifice and make sacrifices to Him, and see the reproach rolled away speedily. Your prayer is essential in rolling away the reproach. Rebekah was fruitless and turned to her husband, and together they approached God. Rachel was barren while her sister was fruitful, until when God remembered her. When God turned the reproach of Sarah by giving her a child, she praised God and declared that God has caused her to laugh among the congregation of other women. God would cause you to laugh by rolling away the reproach, the dent, the shame, the limitation, and the challenge in your life. There was a man too who God changed his status and removed the limitation in his life. He was a celebrated army general, a commander of the army of the king of Aram. He had claimed many victories and was highly respected, but his life had a limitation, an embargo. Despite his status in the society at the time, he was unable to associate with people because he was leprous. His leprosy was generational and was transferable. In that state, a little girl in his house, serving as a maid, told her mistress, "If her master can visit the prophet in Israel, their God is very strong, powerful, and capable to healing her master." Such faith and boldness in a little girl, her master decided to go to Israel. The king of Israel, as at then, became afraid and angry, interpreting Naaman's visit to Israel as a threat in disguise. But Prophet Elisha heard of it and asked that Naaman be brought to him. Naaman came with so much hope and expectation, and also sacrifices for the man of God. He did not leave the way he came. His skin became smooth as a child, and he went home excited. God, using the word of his servant and prophet Elisha, healed him, and he went home a healthy and clean man. Sometimes your miracle is tied to a man of God. Seek God, and he would direct you on how to roll away the reproach in your life. Another fundamental issue and factor in holding God to roll away your reproach and shame is to have faith while praying and with your sacrifice. You cannot expect to see a change in your life or situation if you do not have faith in God. He who must come to God must come in faith, believing that God would do it for him. The woman with the issue of blood, during the time of Jesus, had spent all her fortunes in seeing physicians, but nothing came out of it. She decided then to meet Jesus with the conviction that if she can only touch the edge of his garment, her sickness, she would be healed. And with that faith, she went out, and as Jesus was passing, she pushed her way through the crowd and touched his garment. The moment she did so, the flow stopped, and she knew she was healed. Jesus was also aware that virtue had left him after she touched his garment. Do not come to God with doubt. Know what you want from him and have faith he would do it for you. Blindness was attached to the name Bartimaeus. The people called him blind Bartimaeus. But when he heard that Jesus was passing through, he screamed at the top of his voice, calling Jesus to come to his aid. People tried stopping him, just as people would also try to discourage and stop you when you call on God for a change in that situation. Blind Bartimaeus did not stop calling on Jesus until Jesus heard his voice and healed him. He was very clear on what he wanted. God is certainly taking away your reproach and crowning you with honor and blessings. It is happening now. Pray it and believe it.